live stream. I found that like Facebook's great, but there are other people who don't use Facebook, and I want it to be a little bit more accessible. And so what I've done this week is I've actually taken all of the 30 weeks past that I have done my live stream over Facebook, and I have put them all on YouTube. So I will be sharing the link to my new YouTube channel. I'm trying to see if I can merge my old one and my new one, just because I do have some really awesome videos of my old one as well. But yeah, I figured I'd make a go of this. So I just wanted to welcome everybody today. I am, of course, at home here in Mohinstis, which means elbow in Blackfoot. This has been my home for, well, the last 13 years for sure, since I moved back from Treaty 6 territory into Treaty 7 territory. I also lived here beforehand. And Mohinstis is just, it's always felt like my home. It's always the place where I grow and I thrive and I make community connections and, lasting relationships and friendships. And it's a blessing to be where I am, and I'm thankful every day when I wake up. I think it's really important to live in gratitude whenever you wake up and really understand your sense of place. And so if a place isn't working for you, every place has an energy. So if a place isn't working for you, maybe it's time for you to move forward and move on and go to a place that does work for you. And I'm so thankful that here, Wilkins has really worked just energetically for me, for the people that I have met and I've built relationships with, for the wonderful elders that have taught me so much. It's just such a blessing to be here. And I always like to start with that land acknowledgement, because it is acknowledging how blessed I am and how blessed we all are to be here connected to this land. And it reminds us to really honor all that has come before us. So I honor the Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Pagani. I honor the Sarsi from Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. I also love to honor the fact that we're walking in the footsteps of the Métis, Region 3. This is why I proudly wear my Métis sash. I act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. And whenever I carry that responsibility with me, it's with great pride, and I'm very, very thankful that I have, the grandparents and the great-grandparents and the parents that I did have, because it's really about balance. It's about bringing together all of those wonderful things from all of those different cultures and really sharing them in a unique and beautiful way. And so I honor, my dad's side of the family, which were just French. And I also honor my mom's side of the family, that's where I get a lot of that Métis and the Cree and the Anishinaabe. And so I'm so thankful, for both sides of the family. And I'm so thankful for, the Blackfoot and the Stoney, and of course the Métis, and of course the Tsuut'ina, for just having this place, holding this space, and continuing to fight for it, continuing to fight for the stories that are steeped into this land, continuing to honor, the plants and the animals, all our relations. And there are so many people on the front lines that are doing that, and I honor them every single day. When I do that land acknowledgement, when I wake up and with a sense of gratitude. And so I'm very, very thankful and humbled to be here. So I just wanted to acknowledge the relationship that we all have, oh, hi, how are you? This is the relationship that I have, all my relations. This is my troublesome relation. Oh, and he reminded me to shut off my phone, which is a great thing. So thanks, monkey. Thanks. So just to welcome everybody into the circle, I wanted to share the Cree welcome song. Traditionally, when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But this song is a little bit different. We sing it in rounds of 3, and that's to keep the circle open and welcoming, so everyone completes the circle today. Because in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences, because it's really those differences that build that resilience within our community. It's, that strength that brings us all together. I always say, if everybody was exactly the same, the world would be incredibly boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need all of those differences. We need everyone's beautiful abilities and gifts that they have to share with the world. It reminds us that our gifts are unique and special, and don't try and compare yourself to others. Don't try and be someone that you're not, because not only are you taking that away from yourself, that amazing thing that you can do, but you know, you're taking that away from your entire community. And I'm gonna put you down because I'm gonna stand up to sing. I'm sorry. So, oh, okay, I got a cat in my lap. I might try to sing with a cat in my lap. But this song, it honors that circle. It honors everybody in that circle. Normally when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But this we sing in rounds of 3, and that's to keep the circle open and welcoming so everyone completes the circle today. Because again, in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning or no end. And so Miasin, which is the Cree welcome song, is from the Nataha family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation. And I thank that family for keeping this song alive. Because for so many generations, for so many years, we couldn't share our songs, we couldn't share our stories, we couldn't share our culture, we couldn't wear our regalia. And so the fact that, you know, a lot of our songs and stories and our language and our culture has remained, it shows exactly how resilient a people can be. And so when I sing this, I sing it with humility and just honoring, you know, that gift that we have. And I'm also going to, yeah, you're a gift too, buddy, but I'm going to put you down, okay? Love you. So, awesome. So Miasin, it not only means welcome, it means beautiful. Miasin, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miasin, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miasin, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle today, everybody. So this is a new format, which I'm kind of excited about because I can switch between images if I so wanted to. So before I introduce the medicines and take off my earrings here, I'm just going to show you my little medicine wheel with my little turtle in the middle. So this is my OG Cree medicine wheel, and I'm very, very thankful that I found these earrings. And they're kind of that gift, you know. Sometimes you have to follow your intuition. My intuition sometimes takes me to places, and I find amazing things, and I meet amazing people, and artists and activists and people who are doing really good work on the ground, and elders. And so it's always wonderful to listen to your intuition and just let it take you where you need to be. But that's how I found those wonderful earrings, which is just, they're such a part of me. And as is this. So this is a Blackfoot medicine wheel from Bagani. My mom actually got this piece gifted to her when well, she sometimes does medicine wheel teachings as well, but it was too heavy for her head, and the elder that gave it to her said, well, give it to your daughter, because your daughter shares the medicine wheel as well, so that she could talk a little bit of how the difference is between the medicine wheels. So I think it's really important when we talk about the medicine wheel to realize that it's different to every person, to every nation. The medicines on it are going to be the energy and the direct, well, not really the directions, because it's still like the north, east, south, and west, so that's pretty standard. But it's really about balance. It's about understanding what you need and when you need it, where to find what you need, how to take what you need without taking too much, because that's what balance is. It's acknowledging that, you know, we all need to share this world together, and if somebody has more than someone else, then it's not balanced, and that other person might be suffering. So we need to really acknowledge that. And so that being said, I'm just going to go around the medicines really, really quickly. Oh, right, I was going to show that cute little thing. So this is my medicine wheel. I'm going to just dip out here and talk a little bit about it. So here we have, I've got the yellow is the sweetgrass, the red is the cedar, in the west, which is the blue, that is the sage, and then up in the north we have Kennebec or Kinsessa, which is the red willow bark, and tobacco. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. But hey, I wasn't able to share that before, so this is exciting that I can share that now. But I'm just going to start by acknowledging all of my medicines, even though I only smudge with sage usually, unless I'm doing a 4-direction smudge or I'm in a particular type of ceremony. I always introduce all of the medicines. And again, these are just my teachings. Everybody's going to have different teachings depending on where they're from. And this is why we have oral traditions and oral storytelling. Whatever's meant for us, we'll remember. Whatever's not, won't take up space in our brain. It's really about taking what you need at any given time. And it's important not to be rigid as well with your teachings, because your teachings might change throughout your lifetime depending on what you go through, depending on what nation you're in, or depending on just the teachings that you need along your path. You might heal in a different way and recognize that those teachings that have brought you to that healing, they're not serving you anymore because they've run their course, and then you're going to go into a new batch of teachings. And that's important. It's important to never be rigid with the way that you think, the way that you act, but to be like water, to always flow. And so in the east here, I have sweetgrass. It smells so good. It's a brand new braid of sweetgrass. My whole room smells like sweetgrass right now because I had a whole bunch of sweetgrass in my car, but I cleaned out my car because I had to shuttle a whole bunch of kids around for Halloween. And so I had to flip up all of my seats and make sure there was room for everybody. So I had to take all of my medicines out as well. So now all my medicines are in my room. So my whole room smells beautiful. It absolutely smells amazing. But I love the smell of fresh sweetgrass. You can tell it's fresh because it's still a little bit green and a little bit purple on the ends, but it smells beautiful. It just reminds us of, our childhood, and to stay curious and to be open to new possibilities and about new beginnings, about acknowledging our mind and how important it is to continue to learn, because if we're not learning, we're not growing. So we need to learn. And it also teaches us how to make good decisions, how to always take into account our 7 generations behind or 7 generations forward, and recognize that we're somebody's ancestor. So we better do a good job, because we don't want to be that guy or that girl or that human who has messed things up for our other ancestors. So it's really about weighing our decisions and making sure that it's not just about us. It's about honoring our past and leaving that legacy for our future generations, making the world a better place for them, because we're borrowing it from them. This isn't our world, it's theirs. The next medicine that we have in the south, of course, we have cedar, which is the body medicine. It teaches us that we need to honor our body. This is the only body that we have, so we have to acknowledge, and listen to it. If it says it's thirsty, it's thirsty. Drink some water. If you have to go to the bathroom, just go. Also, treat it with respect. Don't put too many things that don't belong in it. It's really about balance. It's like eating a balanced diet. There's some legitimacy to that. So with cedar, it's amazing because it's like a preventative medicine. This is antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. It's got an antihistamine in it. It's just awesome. And so I have it a lot in tea, especially in the winter, or actually the transition from like in the springtime and then the transition in the fall. When the seasons transition, I find that my asthma and my coughs and colds get really bad. My allergies get rough. And so I have a lot of cedar tea and I feel 100 times better. Actually, I'm probably going to have some cedar tea before I go to bed tonight because it's just awesome. But it's just really good in general, just for preventative, but also for treating something. So if you're feeling a little, that little tickle in your throat right before it like gets full blown, have some cedar tea. It doesn't taste the best, so with lots of honey. So it kind of tastes gross to me. Some people like it. I don't know. But the next medicine that we have, I don't have all of them out, but this is sage. This is buffalo sage. I found a last little bit of buffalo sage, so I'm going to be using some, which is exciting. I thought that I was like out, and I was really like, oh no, what am I going to do? Because, I mean, winter hasn't even started yet, and I smudge all the time. What am I going to do? But then I found some, so I was excited. And so I love buffalo sage because it doesn't smell like much until you crunch it. And then the oil in it just unlocks, and it has this like really pleasant, almost minty sort of smell to it. It smells so good. And it just reminds us to honor our heart medicine, honor our emotions because they are liquid. So that's why it's connected to the water and it's connected to Grandmother Moon. Because when we get upset or emotional, we cry, we leak from our face. So this is why we need to honor that water that comes through our body because it shows us just exactly how powerful and strong our emotions are, because without them, we wouldn't be here. We need them to have, strong relationships and strong families and strong friendships. And so it's really about honoring our emotions as they come and not running away from them because they're a blessing, they're a gift. And so I'm going to be only using the sage today. Sage is the women's medicine, so anyone can use it at any time. And that's just my teaching too. You might have different teachings. And then we're going to go to the north. And in the north we have tobacco. We also have Kansasa, but I think I got rid of all of mine. It's in a bin because I had to do some medicine bags. So the Kansasa or Kennebec, it's red willow bark, and I like to use it when I'm doing medicine bags with schools because, you're not giving kids tobacco to take home with them. That's number one. But Kansasa, Kennebec, it's used in ceremonies when we're not actually going to use tobacco. So it's in place of tobacco because it's that spirit medicine. It's also used, it's an anti-inflammatory. It's a painkiller. It's great for that. So it's also a blood thinner. So if you have really high cholesterol, if you have like a little bit of Kennebec tea every day or Kansasa tea every day, it actually helps bring your blood pressure down, and it clears out some of those deposits, which is really great. So very useful. Our medicines are very, very useful. Tobacco, even though it's not a physically useful medicine, like you can't actually use it because it's a spirit medicine, you pray with it. And there's something really powerful when you lay tobacco down and you pray for someone. You feel lighter because you've gifted the earth something, asking for something, like for that energy in return, that help in return. When we gift it to someone else, it's saying thank you from our spirit to their spirit. When we gift it to an elder or a knowledge keeper or a storyteller, a drummer, anyone who's sharing knowledge with you, it's protocol. It's saying thank you from our spirit to their spirit. And so it's a blessing to be able to do that. It's, whenever I get tobacco, it's just so humbling. As long as we know where the intention is coming from. So it's really about the intention behind the medicines, not the kind, not the amount, not how much you paid for it. It's really just about how much you're giving of yourself, because $100 to one person is nothing. $100 to another person is their world. And so it's really important to recognize, where that protocol is coming from. Is it coming from your ego, or is it coming from your heart? And so that's important. And so we honor that. I have my matches here. I also have this really lovely mushroom. This is willow fungus. It's really lovely. It smells so beautiful. I haven't actually burnt it yet. I'm probably going to burn it when I open my pipes. So, but this was a gift. So I'm very thankful and humbled for that gift. I always like it when I get gifts that, I can carry with me and are useful and that are just coming from a genuine place. And I think everybody loves that when gifts come from a genuine place. Because, there's only so many gift cards you can get at Christmas and you're like, you guys don't even know me. But when you have those gifts that are gifted to you that you could tell there's a lot of thought and heart put into it, I think those matter so much more. So That being said, when we smudge, there's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. You notice I took off my jewelry because metal holds energy and we want to get rid of those things. Also, we're not born with jewelry when we come to this world, so we get rid of it. The only exception to that is things like piercings that are kind of stuck in there for a while, until they heal, or sometimes like wedding rings. Your glasses, you can come off and you can smudge those, but it's really just about letting go of the energy that you don't need and bringing in the energy that you do. So there's no right or wrong way to smudge. Even the smudge ball has the four directions in it. So it has the bowl, which is water. When we light it on fire, it's fire. The medicine that goes in the bowl, no matter what it is earth because it comes from the earth. And then the smoke is the air. It's connection to the air, so it's a connection to spirit or creator. Hello, kitty. I'm gonna smudge. No, you can't be there when I'm smudging. You don't like smudge. So that's funky. Are you curious? So again, there's no right or wrong way to smudge. You can smudge yourself if you have pets or babies or people who can't smudge for themselves. You can smudge them as well. Sometimes I smudge the cats. They look at me weird, but I had a cat who was not well, and I'd smudged him and I drummed over him every day, and he got better. Until one day he just disappeared. So I'm pretty sure he found a family who fed him a lot more wet food than we did. So the first thing I do is I wash my hands to get rid of anything that I'm carrying. I bring it over my body 4 times to honor the 4 directions of my body. Smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. Smudge my eyes so I can be open to see all of the beauty that surrounds me. Smudge my ears so I can be open to hear all of the messages Creator sends me. Smudge my nose so I can smell danger and cookies. Smudge my mouth so I can speak only true and kind words that help. Smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless. Smudge my lungs so I breathe good, clean air. My heart so I show unconditional love to all of those people in my life. My family, friends, strangers, but also to myself. Sometimes we forget to love ourselves. Smudge my stomach so that all the food that I eat this day will nourish my body. Smudge my womanhood because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time, as well as a two-spirit woman. Smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of my responsibilities that Creator's gifted me with grace and humility. Smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that Creator's put me here to do. And I smudge my legs so I can walk this red road in a good way. And smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her, honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body that you need a little extra love, so my neck is a little wonky today, I always smudge my hips just because of all the hip surgeries. Also, I haven't had coffee for 2 days, and so I'm getting that coffee headache that you get when you haven't had a coffee for a couple of days. So I'm going to smudge my head. I'm sure it'll go away if I have chocolate. Just saying. And then if there's anyone that you want to send a little bit of love or appreciation, or maybe they're going through something, or maybe you just want to repair the relationship that you have with them, you just hold them in your heart and you bring that smoke to them. It could be your family, could be your friends, could be someone you haven't seen, could be somebody you see every day and you're just praying for them. And then when you're done, just say miigwech or hi or merci or anything. So there we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. So just gonna have a sip of water, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about tomorrow. As tomorrow is a national holiday, which is it's an important holiday too. It is Remembrance Day, and our family, we have a really strong connection to the armed forces. So my mushum, my great-grandfather, he was in the army. A bunch of, our reserve is really, really deeply connected to, to the armed forces. And so even my mom, she was a corporal in the Air Force. I know a lot of people are like, your mom was in the Air Force? But it's really, I think, important to honor all of our veterans. And I don't agree with war. That's one thing that I don't agree with. I think that there are better ways to do things. I think there are better ways to talk about things and, you know, come to a better conclusion than going to war with each other. But I also think it's really important that we acknowledge the sacrifices that people have made. And there are so many amazing veterans that now are living in poverty. And I think that's something that we really need to address. We need to start talking about, you know, those veterans, not just one day of the year, but the fact that they have sacrificed so much. And some of them are, you know, on AISH and barely surviving, but they put their lives on the front lines. I mean, they have gone through so much trauma and hardship, and they're continuing to, even though they had put in that sacrifice. And we're not only talking, you know, from a couple wars ago, but like recent ones. And we still have people going, you know, on the front lines every day. And I think we need to honor and respect those people. And we need to look at the government and say, is this okay? The way that we're treating the people who are defending, you know, in some, yeah, they're defending democracy in some cases. They're defending our country or other people's countries. They're defending, you know, the people who are going through a lot of hardship. But we have to defend them too when they come home. We have to honor and respect them. We have to make sure that their living conditions aren't garbage. You know, we have to recognize that a lot of Indigenous veterans, they were treated like second-class citizens when they came back from the war. Including like my auntie and my mushum. So my great auntie, Grace, Gray Eyes, Mary Grace Gray Eyes. So she has probably one of the most famous pictures of an Indigenous woman in the service, and it's such a beautiful picture. I wish I would have downloaded it so I could pop it up, but it's one of those pictures that just really stays with you. And I know that this is like my family legacy, but I also know that they did that because they didn't have food. So they took a picture so that they could actually be fed that night and have a place to stay that night. And when we, you know, think of, you know, honor and service, it's like, how are we honoring those veterans? How are we actually respecting and honoring them and recognizing that some of them don't have housing? I mean, a lot of our homeless population, a lot of them are veterans, and maybe we should start to really reassess the way that we treat our most vulnerable people in society, because sometimes those are the ones that we're standing up for the most vulnerable in other countries for us on our behalf. And what are we doing? So I think it's really important to acknowledge that some of the wars that we fight are not to defend people, and they are not to help people, but they are actually hurting people on all sides. And so we need to really dial it back and look at our leadership and say, if you're not going to stand on the front lines, then don't send anybody else to do so. That's just my opinion. And, you know, I feel really passionate about that. There's a story about Tommy Prince that my mom had shared on a storytelling event that we did on the weekend. And Tommy Prince was one of the most decorated veterans ever. And he was treated with so much disrespect when he came home. And he was pushed back onto the reserve when he came home, because this is just the way that we treat Indigenous people, Indigenous veterans. And, you know, we need to really stand up for what's right. And I think we have a lot to look at. We have to look at really the leaders. If you're not willing to stand up, you know, and do the things that you're making other people do, then you're not a leader. A leader is someone who is willing to take the reins and, you know, protect their people, lead their people, and not boss them around per se, but actually lead by example. That's truly what a leader is. I wanted to sing the healing song just because the healing song, I've seen so many miracles happen with this song. And I've sung it for veterans before, ones that are going through so much, because trauma is a really hard thing to heal. When you watch your friends and your companions in front of you pass and, you know, on the front lines, that's a lot. That's a lot to carry with you. And when some of these veterans are in wheelchairs, just because their health has been failing them, that's a lot to carry as well. And that's not right. When we sing the healing song, it's not only for us to heal physically, but for us to heal emotionally and mentally and spiritually, and for us to recognize what's wrong with our society and come together and heal those things together. Because the only way that we can do it is together. So we need to stop with the divisive talk. We need to really look at the big picture about connecting to who we are as humans, as people. We all have families, we have friends, we have loved ones. We want to care for people. I mean, if we look outside of politics, we all want the same things. Politics is just a way to pull us apart, and we just need a way to pull us all back together. And so I hope this healing song does that for people. So I'm going to read them. This song is also called the crying song or the wailing song, and it allows us to cry, because when we cry, that's truly when we heal. It's really about getting rid of those emotions that are pulling us down. It's honoring the things that we can change and the things that we can heal from, and acknowledging the things that we can't. We can't change the past, but we can make it better for our future generations. And that's our responsibility, and we have to do it all together. It's not just one person's job, it's everybody's job. And so when we sing this song, we sing it in 4 rounds, of course, to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But the 3rd round, we actually stop drumming. And in that silence, I invite you to pray for the people in your life, that, are hurting, the people that, need that healing, need that love, need that appreciation. Don't forget to pray for yourself, because we're all going through things. I think we all have that bit of trauma that we're trying to heal from. And it's not about wearing our trauma like a blanket so that it pulls us down, but it's rising above it and knowing that, yeah, it was there, but it's not going to control my life anymore. And as we heal together and move forward, the song really represents that, because when that drum comes back in, that's your time to just get rid of anything that you're carrying. Let those prayers out into the universe. Let those things that, need to happen, and let that energy out to, really do the work that it needs to do. When we sing it as well, usually it was a ceremony song, but a lot of our elders had shared it and said that now is the time. Now is the time for us to come together as a society, as, one people, one nation, all my relations, and heal. We need to heal together. We need to move forward together, and the only way that we can do that is by recognizing the problems and, recognizing the truths, coming together under that veil of truth and moving forward. When we do sing this song, sometimes tears will come, and that's okay. I want you to recognize those tears and know that that's healing. That's your emotions coming out. That is asking Creator for what you need, and that's a blessing. Our tears are a blessing. This is why we have tears ceremonies. And so we do it with a heartbeat. A heartbeat is a women's beat. It's that boom, 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 boom. And it's also a healing beat or an honor beat. So this is the healing song. Hey, 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 oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh, hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, oh, hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh, hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh. Way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh. I'm always really thankful for that song, just because it's taught me so much and it's got me through a lot. And I wanted to share another song another strong woman song, the Strong Woman song. When I think of all of the women in my family who have gone and they've been in the service, I admire them, because I don't think I could. I don't think I could ever do that, just because I don't think I could hurt another human. I don't think I could be on the front lines, and I'm not good with with authority figures yelling at me. Not my thing. So, but there are people who can, and I think everybody has a gift, and everyone has an ability, but also everyone has a path that they need to learn from, to grow from, and when they learn their knowledge on that path, they're able to share it with other people. And I find that the strong women in my family, that was their path. Some of them, have been there for many years. Some of them, just did a quick little run, and then they were done. But I admire their strength for all that they had faced, and I also acknowledge the fact that they were mainly peacekeepers. I miss that role that Canada had as peacekeepers. We were never there to hurt anyone. We were never there to be the aggressors. We were always there to make sure that, those lines of peace were adhered to, and that people were taken care of, and, that we were making sure that injustice wasn't happening on the front lines. And I don't know when that changed. Why did that change? It needs to come back. I think Canadians are very ashamed of where we're at now, and we need to go back to when we were proud. We were proud when we were helping people, when we were the polite ones in the world. I mean, we're still polite. I sit at a stop sign, a four-way stop, and I'm just like, no, you go. And then the other person's like, no, you go. And this could go on for hours until somebody finally honks and is less polite. But why can't we go back to that? Why can't we look at the way that the world is and know that a Canadian's role is there to help? It's there to, like the Métis. The Métis are the ones that were always in the middle. They were the ones that were hoping to, bargain deals and trades and help with communication. And that is what Canadians are really good at. We're really good at communicating with people, talking to people, having conversations, and bringing people to a place of understanding. And that's what really our role should be. So I honor the veterans whose role that was. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the case in recent years, and it wasn't the case in the beginning. So I honor the strong women that have stood up for that. And this song also honors those strong women who have gone missing, the women who are standing up for justice, for their families, for their communities, for the people we've lost. This has really become that anthem for murdered, missing Indigenous women. And for all of those Indigenous women that were on the front lines of war, what have we come back to? Why is this continuing to happen in our own country, even though we were the ones on the front line trying to fight this exact thing? So we need to really reevaluate where we are as a nation and as a society. So this is the Strong Woman song, which is an OG Kree song. It was also known as the Turtle song. I'm a little emotional, so thinking of a lot of different things, but I think it's really just important to acknowledge that we all have places and spaces that we need to hold for other people. And now is I think it's a strong reminder about the veterans that they need that space. They need to be held. You know, they held that space for us. Now it's time for us to do the same, and not just on a day, but all the time. So I wanted to share probably the Creator song, because I'm just really thankful and humbled for this song coming back to me in a good way. But it just reminds us of that sacredness that everyone holds. Everyone has, you know, that sacred breath that we share. We are all related. We are all connected. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here for a reason. And it just reminds us of that sacredness that we all have within us. You know, when we say all my relations, it's all of the plants. It's all of the animals. It's, you know, all of the people. Even people we don't get along with or agree with, we're still sharing that same sacred breath. And so it's important to come to a place of understanding and recognize that we're all sacred. You know, we all have different things to learn on our path. And sometimes by talking to someone that you don't exactly have the same perspective with, it actually can teach you a lot about yourself. And so, yeah, I honor this song for coming to me right when I needed it. I honor that lovely cat that was here in the beginning. That is my friend Night's son's cat, and so now he's with us. But she's the one who shared this song with me. So I'm very humbled and grateful for that. And I'm humbled and grateful to share that breath with each and every one of us. And yeah, the Creator song. I'm also going to share the community bird song. So this is the one that I'd written when I was in the Weaselhead Park. The Weaselhead is just beautiful. It's stunning. But it's also just really humbling to be there and to see kind of what's been going on there, and just to hear the differences in the birds when the work's going on versus not. But the birds, they share community stories. That's what the birds do. And so I was inspired by the blue jay, being my spirit animal. She's loud. Blue jay's loud. Of course, that's my spirit animal. I'm loud. No, but she is able to listen and to pay attention and to warn other animals when something's not quite right. If there's a hawk coming, she'll actually mimic the hawk sound, same with the eagle sound, to warn all of the other birds and all the other animals, like there's a predator coming, get out, or hide. And she also takes care. She takes care of other things in the forest. So if, you know, a mama bird's a little late coming home, she makes sure that that other baby bird is fed, even if it's not her own. And she will sometimes even take care of abandoned nests so that those little birds are okay, even if they're not hers. And they're very interesting birds, because not only can they mimic almost all bird calls, they aren't actually blue. They have like this really fine filter of brown, like, I don't know what they're called, but like little brown filaments, which actually give the illusion that their feathers are blue, but they're not. They're actually brown. And so it's all about illusion. But it's really about honoring that voice in the community and what your place is in the community, but also how we need to know and hear from everyone else within our community. Like I said before, like our veterans, their voices need to be heard. You know, their experiences need to be heard. They have incredible stories, and if we actually just sit down and spend the time to listen, it is so humbling, and it's such an honor to be able to, you know, hear those stories through their eyes. As these stories really connect us, they connect each and every one of us, and this is why it's so important that we share our stories and that we take the time to actually listen to the stories that maybe we wouldn't have heard otherwise. So this is the Ancestral Bird Song. Birds always tell us how to listen, but it's really about that importance of our voice as a community and how we can make changes, but we all have to do that together. We all have to come together and share our voices to be able to make those changes happen. So this is the Ancestral Bird Song. Way ah, way ah, way ho. 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 Way way, way, yo. Way, way, oh. Way, way, So, yeah, it's a new format. It's really interesting. I'm looking at a totally different screen, so. But, so I hope somebody's doing something for tomorrow. I usually wear my poppy. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it went through the wash, so I'm going to pick up a new one tomorrow. But, it's important, I think. I remember so vividly being in school and hearing, you know, the ceremony and specifically the trumpet play and just how haunting it can be and how haunting it is. I'm sure everybody has been to a Memorial Day ceremony, or a Veterans Day ceremony, or a Remembrance Day ceremony in some way, shape, or form. And I think it's important to have those ceremonies to recognize the importance of ceremonies for honoring not only what we have done, but how far we need to go. And I think it's really important that we have those conversations with the veterans, because who better to know the steps forward to make the world a better place for all of our future generations, because that's why they were on the front lines, was to make a better place for all of our future generations. And so I'm going to share the Women's Warrior song, just because it's a strong warrior song that I know I'm going to definitely learn a lot more warrior songs. I have a lot of women's songs though, but this song, it just reminds us of that strength within each and every one of us to be a warrior. And to be a warrior doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on the front lines. Like I said before, sometimes it's those peacekeepers. Those are the true warriors, because they're standing up for what's right and they're defending, you know, those that they need help. They need our, you know, us to defend them. They're defending the people without a voice. They're giving voice to the voiceless. That's truly what a warrior does. That's what a leader does too. A leader is someone who stands up and elevates their people, not lords over them. So there's a difference. When we sing this song, it's a sailor song, so it's from the West Coast. And when I sing it, I honor all of the people out there who've kept this song and story alive. I honor the women out there on Hastings Street, the ones who have been murdered, who've gone missing on the Highway of Tears. It's really heartbreaking to see where we're at with our society. And even though we have fought in the front lines and we're not really celebrating, but we're honoring those veterans, it makes you wonder, why are we where we're at with the Indigenous population here in Canada? Why is that injustice continuing to happen on this, in our borders, within our borders? You know, in Turtle Island, why is there so much injustice? If we're sitting there fighting against it in other countries, why can't we fight against it here? And that is truly what a warrior is. It's somebody who stands up for their community, stands up, you know, for those people that need to be defended, you know, for those families that need justice, for, you know, those children that are still without a mom. And truly what a warrior is somebody who steps into those roles when those women have been taken from us, when those people have been taken from us. You know, when we have lost people to the war, there was other family members that have had to step in and raise their kids. And those are warriors. The ones that keep the home fires burning, the ones that stand up for what's right and voice what's right. And so when I sing this song, I honor all of the warrior spirit in each and every one of us, that gentle warrior spirit, the one that just stands up for what's right, no matter what, the one that actually doesn't attack people, but recognizes that people are hurting, and sometimes a hug can be just as ferocious or fierce a gesture, because it's a gesture towards healing. And so this is the Women's Warrior song, to leave everybody in a good way, honoring all of our warriors, at home and abroad. actually worked. I hope it actually went through. Just like I said, this is a new format, but it was just a blessing to be able to share, and I just I'm very humbled for all of the work that people have done, you know, on the front lines. I honor our veterans, I honor my family, and that rich history that we have. Our reserve has a rich history again with the armed services, armed forces, and I think we really need to assess where we want to be, and you know, where we want to be next year, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and how we need to honor the people who have done the work, but also we need to call into account the people who haven't, specifically our politicians, because they're not the ones making the decisions for the best interests of the people, and as a leader, that's what you need to do. So hi, thank you guys so much. I'm going to share the traveling song before I go, and Miigwech, everybody. This is the traveling song to send you all on a good way. If you're here in Mohkinstsis, enjoy the snow. And everywhere else, have a beautiful day tomorrow and a beautiful rest of your week. Everyone, have a wonderful week and hug a veteran. Actually, don't. COVID. Don't make them sick. Okay. Love y'all. Bye. I think I'm done. How do I shut this off? I'll figure it out. Okay, bye. Oh.